I don't know if you can hear me, as this is my first time trying to do this live. I'm just checking audio right now. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm actually doing today is a variation of that shrimp rose pasta that I did last week. So this is actually going to be a tteokbokki rose pasta. So it's going to have Korean rice cake, it's going to have fish cake, egg, and some sausages. So actually what I'm going to start off with first is the sausages. Now, I'm doing my sausages a little bit differently this time. I'm actually doing it sous vide. So right here is my sous vide machine setup. I have the sausages being cooked at 155 degrees. They've been running for about 2 hours now. Now that's a little bit overkill. Normally when you're doing a sausage, you only need to cook that in a pan for about a couple minutes. Mine were frozen, however. But what's nice about sous vide is that I can put frozen food in and cook that and leave it from anywhere from a 45 to a 4-hour time limit. So the fact that my sausages have been in cooking for 2 hours, that's just fine. So right here, you can see the sausages floating in the water right there. Let me see if I can get this lid open actually. You know what? I'm going to turn it off because I'm done. So let me just put this camera down for a second. Oh, that is very hot. Be careful there. And let me get a bowl for this. Sorry, I don't think you can see here, but I just took the lid off the sausages and I'm taking it out now of the water bath. So that's what it looks like because it's all bagged up and everything, but you know it's sitting in its own juices, so you don't lose any of that flavor from the sausages. Because normally when you cook sausages in a pan, you tend to lose some of the flavoring as water evaporates. So let me just put this now back here to my workstation and mount this camera. Just give me 1 second here. All right, there we go. So now in my workstation area here, I have the sausages in this bag. So what I'm going to actually do first is take them out and dry them off. Because with sous vide, the worst thing you can do when you're grilling them or barbecuing them is having them encased in moisture, because that doesn't allow you to get a good sear. First thing I'm going to do is cut open this bag and open that up. Oh wow, if you can only smell this. These are mild Italian sausages that I picked up, so it'll have that nice little flavor profile to it. Now they were in 155 degree water, so they are a little bit hot. So I'm just going to use my tongs here to get them out and put them in this plate so they can dry off. Now, the thing about sous vide is it's boiling the meat, so it's not going to be seared. Like as you can see, the sausages, they still have that kind of gray meat look to it, and that's fine. You know, that's expected with sausages or any meats when you're doing sous vide. And actually, what's nice is you can actually keep this juice and cook it down later on and turn it into a gravy or a broth. I'm not going to do that today though, but you don't always have to throw out the liquid afterwards. So as you can see here, my sausages are cooked, but they don't look so appetizing, right? Oh, sorry, let me just get that better in camera view. So yeah, they look kind of great. So what I'm going to do now is actually give them a little bit of color. To do that, I'm actually going to use my frying pan on the stove. So get this temperature up, get the pan nice and hot. So whilst that warms up, I don't know how many of you saw my last video where I did do the shrimp rose pasta. A lot of the ingredients, a lot of the procedure is going to be very similar. It's just a lot ingredient substitution I'm doing this time. So my proteins are actually going to be egg, sausage, and the fish cake. And instead of doing spaghetti noodles, I am going to be using Korean rice noodles. So let's get this going. Okay, so I'm just waiting for this pan to warm up. I have it on a high heat just so it heats up a little bit faster. Again, personal preference. If you want to use it on a lower heat so you don't risk overcooking the sausages too, that's fine. Thing about this is, with my sausages being done sous vide, I'm not actually leaving them in the pan for very long. They're only going to be in the pan for 30 seconds, 30 to 60 seconds max, just because I want to get a nice sear, a little bit of color on them. That's all. I'm not focusing on cooking them because they are already cooked. So as my pan is getting warmed up here, it's going to add a little bit of oil to that. Okay. Kind of swirl that around so it coats the pan, kind of warms up a little bit. Now it may get a little bit loud because I do have to turn on the vent so my house doesn't smoke up. I do apologize in advance if it gets a little hard to hear me. I will try and speak loud enough over top of it. Okay, so this is getting pretty warm here. Give it another couple of seconds. The reason I'm deciding to do this recipe is, personally, I like the flavor of fish cake, and when I saw the recipe online, I thought, you know, this is an interesting take on it. Now, obviously, I'm not Korean, so I don't know the whole intricacies of, you know, how to make rice cakes, how to make fish cake, all that. But I do like the flavor profiles that they have. Like, their Korean food is a lot of healthy food, I find. And that's what I kind of enjoy more, as opposed to a lot of the heavy oils and fried foods that we normally have here in North America, in Canada. So my pan is pretty hot now, so I'm actually going to start putting sausages in. Get that nice little sear going. You hear that little frying sound? It's perfect. I'll leave it on a low heat, or a low sound, so it's not too overpowering. And again, you just want to keep the sausages moving. You don't want it too long on either side so it burns. Like, you see that one starting to get pretty brown here. Because again, the whole purpose is not to cook them. It's already cooked. You just want to add a little bit of color to it. So I'm just constantly moving the sausages around so all the sides are getting exposed to the heat. Moving it so that not one sausage is in like a high heat area. So it's like kind of even distribution all around. As you can see, it's now starting to kick up. So I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit. Yeah, you get that nice look to it now. And again, like I said, 30 to 60 seconds, not too long. My sausages are done, so I'm actually taking them off the heat. And as they start to splatter, I'm actually going to transfer them back to that plate. I'm actually going to get fresh napkin on it because it was covered in that juice. So just get that fresh napkin going. And as you can see over here, I am now just taking it off so it can kind of drain out the oil off of it. And I can let it cool down a bit because I will be using it later on in this recipe. I just don't need it right this second. So I'll put my pan off to the side there. And I'm going to put these sausages off to the side so they're out of the way. So now we're going to prep the ingredients for the sauce, for the stew. So I'm actually going to be using a cutting board. And for that, I'm going to do just half of an onion. So I have that remaining half white onion from my last recipe. I'm going to use that up. Just get that out here. My knife. Now, like I said last time, when you're cutting onions or when you're cutting any vegetables, always remember to curl your fingers in so you're running the knife against your knuckles. That way you prevent yourself, if your fingers like this, you can accidentally cut them and bleed, and you know, you don't want to do that. No one wants to hurt themselves. You always got to be careful. So here now, I'm just gonna again, proper knife safety, always got to be careful. Now you can cut your onions as thick as you want, as thin as you want. Some people even like to do diced onions, and that's personal preference. I prefer to do like the whole half onion because you get a little bit more bite to it, a little bit more flavor, and it's a little bit easier to do instead of all the diced. And I mean, I could try doing diced next time in the recipe if that's what you guys want to see. Now, because I have a lot of ingredients going on, I'm actually cutting my onions a little bit thinner here. And when you get to the edge here again, just flip it down so you can cut into it like this way so you're not getting so close to your fingers. Alright, so this is quite a bit of onion, but I am doing a large quantity this time around because I will share some of this with my family. Bit. They just slice this up so it's a little bit smaller pieces so it's not too big and overwhelming in the dish. Okay, so that's our onions right there, and you're done with the knife, so I'm actually going to get a bowl to put all this into. Actually, a little bit at the end here, so I'm going to cut that off so it breaks up. It's edible there. Okay, so you have your onions off to the side. So we're done with the cutting board, and put that away. Okay, so now that we have that done, the next step is to work on that sauce. So again, same principle like last time. We're going to start off by sauteing the onions first, get them nice and translucent, wilted, let them get their aroma out so everything smells more fresher. Then we're going to add a little bit of garlic to it, and I'm going to do it correctly as opposed to last time where I added the garlic first. I'm doing the onions first so I can get that burst of garlic flavor at the end. And then I'm going to add the sauce and we'll go from there. Now, last time I used a frying pan or a higher frying pan. This time I'm going to use a larger pot because I am making a larger quantity, and the fish cakes are, there's a lot more fish cake and a lot more rice cake. Now, the thing is, with fish cake and rice cake, you want to deep prep that in advance. So I actually defrosted my fish cake and my rice cake overnight so it's soft and ready to use today. Otherwise, you're working with frozen fish cake unless you can get fresh, but that I don't know. For me, this was a little last minute spontaneous thing, so I decided to do it with my frozen stuff. So again, I'm going to turn the heat on, get this pan nice and warm, and then we're going to add a little bit of oil to it again. So while that's prepping, I'm going to get my garlic. As well as my other ingredients, because I'm going to need them fairly shortly. So I actually did hard-boiled eggs in advance, just because hard-boiled eggs take a while to cook. So I did this I put 4 eggs into a pot of water, and then you cover that so it's about 1 inch of water over the top of the eggs, and then you put that on a high heat on your stove and let that cook until the water comes to a rolling boil. Now, so once that happens, what I do is I turn the heat off and I cover that pan, but I still leave it on that heat source, so it's still cooking. And I leave that for about 12 minutes. And then after that, you take it off, and you can do one of two things. You could run it under cold water to stop the cooking process of the eggs, which is ideal. You don't want to keep your eggs cooking, otherwise it can overcook, and then you get rubbery tasting eggs, and that's very unappealing. So what I actually did is I ran it under my tap, under the cold water, just so it stops cooking, because I plan to use it right away. Now, if you are making eggs, but you don't want to eat it right away, you can leave them in the shell, but I would suggest transferring it to a ice bath. So again, that stops the cooking, and you can leave your eggs up to 5 days covered, of course, securely covered in the fridge if you don't plan to eat it right away. And you can leave the shell on, you can remove the shell, that's up to you. So this is getting nice and warm here. So I'm going to get a little bit of oil going. Get that spread around a little bit. Be careful because these pots do get hot, so I'm just going to use my, just swirl that around. Oh, you see that smoke? Let me turn down this heat a little bit because it's a little too high. And then I will get my onions going. So I did, let me turn this onto a high vent. Turn down that heat a little bit. So again, you want to keep moving your onions around so it's getting translucent. Now you see my onions are actually starting to brown, so that means my heat is way too high. So I'm going to turn that down even more. And just keep it moving. And if in doubt, so I don't risk overcooking my food, I'm going to take it off the heat for a second or two if I find it's getting a little bit too much. Because you want to break down all these big onion chunks as well, make them translucent. So as you can see, the color is now starting to change on the onions. They are turning more, they're sweating, so they're releasing flavor. Yeah, so I made the mistake of starting off with too high of a heat. Always check your heat, keep an eye on that at all times. So my onions are a little bit burnt, but it's not too bad. They have a little bit of a burnt onion smell, but it should balance out with the rest of the ingredients once I add them in. So let that cook for a second. And in the meantime, I'm just going to get out my other ingredients. Again, you want to keep an eye on this at all times, keep it moving. Once your onions get translucent, it'll take a couple minutes to do that. Then you want to hit it with the garlic. So my onions are still a little bit tough, or still a little bit raw feeling. So I'm going to let that cook for a little bit longer. But again, keep moving everything around so nothing burns. So I'm just going to quickly show you the other ingredients that I'll be using in this recipe. This is the rice cakes that I'll be using. So it's a cylindrical mixture made of glutinous rice flour, season it like salt, I believe, and water. So it's turned into like a paste. It's turned into a dough that's cut into these cylindrical shapes. So that's I'm not too sure how the Koreans use it or like how they make it. I think that's the process. I just did a quick Google search on it. They have different types too. They have also Chinese. There is other, I believe, Indian rice cakes. There's many different types out there, and they use different types of flour and to create it. Now, the other ingredient that I'm going to be using is this, which is fish cake. So what this is a minced fish paste with vegetables and seasoning and various other ingredients out there. Actually, not too many ingredients. I think it's mostly just fish cake or fish paste and vegetables and seasoning, and then it's flattened out into like this long sheet, and then from there you can either cut it into squares or into rectangles, or you can also form it into fish balls too, which you see in a lot of like hot pots and everything. So now my onions are pretty good and cooked down. I'm going to be adding some minced garlic. Again, you can use fresh garlic if you have that on hand. I don't, so I'm going to be adding minced garlic to this. Not too much though, because the garlic does get powerful. So add your garlic to that. Put that away. And then you want to start stirring this in. So it incorporates now, and then that garlic is now starting to heat up, starting to cook, and that's where you're going to get that nice burst of flavor as it cooks down. Now you can do, at this point, you can do one of two things. You can add your sausages now, or you can add them later. I think I'm going to do my sausages later because I want to have them as more of a garnish than actual part of the main dish. Or like actually incorporate it into all the sauce. So while that's cooking down, I'm going to get my heavy cream. I'm using heavy cream and red pepper paste, which you can find at any of your local Asian markets, to give it that flavor, that rose color and flavor, and adds an extra layer of spice to it. Okay, so now this is looking pretty good. You know what, actually, I am going to pivot and change my mind. I'm going to actually get those sausages ready. So, because I don't want to overcook this, I'm actually going to, probably shouldn't be doing this, pull that off the heat. I'm going to take it off the heat for a minute whilst that is kind of cooking there. I really shouldn't do that, but I want to pivot. So I am going to get the sausages back. So let me see here where you can see where I'm working. And I'm actually going to slice them into slices and incorporate that instead. One thing I really love doing is using these disposable gloves that you can get, so I can handle the food without worry. So now my sausages are all cooked and everything, so I'm actually going to slice them. Now normally you should do this on a cutting board. I'm cutting corners here and I shouldn't, but let's see how this works out. Yeah, cutting it in this kind of plate, it's not ideal, but it still works. And the fact that we already cooked the sausages through, I don't have to worry about it being raw inside. As you can see, the sausages are fully cooked. To show you that right here, you can see the sausage is fully cooked. Now, I do want to preface, if this is your first time on my stream, I am very much an amateur home cook. I have no training, no whatsoever. Everything I know how to do, I've learned from countless hours on YouTube, watching cooking channels, asking people. So this is all kind of as I go. The reason I decided to pivot and cut the sausages and add it to the mixture right now is because I want that fat from the sausages, that oil, to add an extra layer of flavor to the sauce, to add that richness that you would get. Now, with a traditional, I guess not a traditional, but with a roast pasta, you would add bacon at this point. I decided not to use bacon. You can, and you would just do the same thing. You would slice up bacon. You probably wouldn't pre-cook it, but it would be raw bacon, and you would add it to your onions and garlic. So it would cook at the same time, and as it releases the oils from the bacon, that infuses into the onions and the garlic. So that's why I'm actually planning to do this now instead. I'm going to add the sausages so it has the flavors from the sausages and the seasoning in it to add to the onions and the garlic. I'm trying to get this done quickly so my onions and garlic don't cool down. Gotta be careful there, I almost lost the sausage. Alright. This was an impromptu decision to do a live cook today. Normally I would have prepped more in advance or kind of planned things out. So that's why I'm a little all over the place. So please bear with me on that. How not to do it. What is the name on the wall? What is the pork content? Actually, these are store-bought. I'm not 100% sure what the store pork content is. I do know they are pork sausages. And for a red stallion, I can guarantee you that these are not raw. They are 100% cooked to 155 degrees Fahrenheit. These aren't fries. These are actually rice cakes. So they will be cooked later. So now that I have the sausages cooked, prove it. At the very beginning of the stream, you saw, if you signed in, you would have seen that they were actually in the hot water bath because they were done sous vide style. I don't know how familiar you are with sous vide cooking, but I've been doing that for the last 2 years now, and I can guarantee you that this is very much cooked sausages. And if you want me to prove it, I'll eat one right now for you guys. Tteokbokki pro chef? No, I am very much an amateur chef. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants on this. You can use any type of size of sausages that you wanted. I prefer to use smaller ones so I can get more volume going in the pot without overflowing the pot, because you also want to think visuals when you are plating as well. Hey Don, how are you? Nice Star Wars apron? Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. This is a Star Wars apron that I bought a long time ago. I think I bought it at Williams-Sonoma. I believe they've gone out of business though. But yeah, I've had this for years. It's my favorite apron. I love using it all the time. Star Wars, you know, Darth Vader and all that. Luke Skywalker. Yeah, I'm doing a live cooking, Don. Figured I'd try something new. Okay, so after this is heating it back up, I'm going to add the sausages into the onions and garlic. So going here. So I can get that flavor imparted into the vegetables. Yeah, they are sausages. They are frozen sausages that I picked up from the grocery store. Yeah, if you want to, Don, you go right ahead. I know Sunny was kind of talking about it. The onions are cooked, actually. They are wilted and they are translucent. I just don't want to overcook them. So now I'm going to mix it all together. This is the first time I've actually tried this dish, so I'm not 100% sure how it's going to turn out, at least with these ingredients. I've done it before with shrimp and pasta, and it turned out amazing. Why the glove if they're cooked? Because they are hot. They came out of the hot water bath at 155 Fahrenheit, so they are pretty hot. Like, it's almost not like touching a hot stove, but they are, you can burn yourself. Like, I've done that many times. Yeah. Plus, it's also food safety too. You know, you're handling meat, even though it's cooked meat, with your bare hands. You know, you want to be hygienic too, because people are going to be eating this. So as things have cooked down now, I will get my heavy cream. I do wash my hands, but you know what? I'd rather put on a pair of gloves and just be extra safe. Now, I'm using some heavy cream about, for this size, I'm going to do roughly 2 cups worth of cream. A bit because you want that to cook down now. Now you don't want to use too much cream because it does, as you reduce it, it will thicken up and it'll coat everything nicely. Do you need more cream? You know what? With the volume of the other ingredients I'm going to add, I probably will add a little bit more liquid to it. Not too much because, again, it will thicken up as it goes, as you reduce it. So let me bring that down here so you can actually see. I think this is enough cream for now. We can always add more later on if needed. Now, while that's starting to warm up, I'm just going to add a little bit of salt to that. Because that salt will help enhance the flavor. Now, some other recipes you find online, they'll add vegetables like broccoli, or you probably add peppers to it if you want to. That's completely your choice. Yeah, broccoli is pretty good. Like I was tempted to use broccoli, but I didn't feel like it at this point in time. Yeah, I've done one with peas. I've done a recipe with carrots as well. You can add any vegetable that you like. Okay, so now I'm going to add the red pepper paste as this starts to heat up. There. So that's actually going to add some nice heat to it. Yeah. We'll see if I add some more later on. So as you mix that in, it's going to start to change color. It's going to start getting, give it that rose pasta or rose sauce feel to it. Coagulated pig blood? No, it's actually just red pepper paste. Okay, so you want to keep that going. You don't want to boil the cream. Like, you don't want it to, because then if you heat it up too much, it will start to curdle, and you don't want that. So you want to keep it constantly moving so the heat dissipates throughout and cooks everything through. Like I said, the sausages were cooked through, but this just adds a little extra cook to them if you want to make sure. Like, someone in the chat mentioned that they thought it was undercooked and raw. No, I can guarantee you, everything is cooked here. It's not yellow, it's more pink. It looks yellow just because of the lighting, unfortunately. It's a little hard to see with my camera, because I'm doing this all through my cell phone, actually. But for me, it is very much a pink color. Sausages aren't raw. Trust me on this. Oh, rosé pasta, as in cooking up. Yeah. I see where you're coming from with that. Yes. No, unfortunately, it gets the rosé pasta name from the color. What else am I adding? I will be adding fish cake, rice cake, and eggs to this. Okay, so as it's starting to come to a boil now, I'm going to just add a little bit extra to this. Just give it a little bit more flavor. Okay, so now you see that starting to bubble. I'm going to add the rice cakes and the fish cake to it. Deep sea homer? Yes, deep sea homer. You can definitely substitute shrimp. I actually did a recipe beforehand where I used shrimp instead of sausages. So here is the rice cake and here is the fish cake. I might not use all the fish cake just because of how much this is right now. So rice cakes are a mixture of glutinous rice flour and salt and seasoning, and it's kind of pounded down into a paste, and then from that it's formed into cylinders. So I actually probably could have added a little bit more sauce, but we'll see as this cooks down. Rice cakes are actually pretty tasty, I'm not gonna lie to you. Is this a toast stream? No, it's not. That's some other stream if you're interested in. So this kind of is a little bit more of a stew almost. So as you mix everything together, obviously you want that sauce to coat all the ingredients. Now the fish cake, I probably could have broken it down a bit more. I could have sliced it thinner instead of doing the whole pieces like this. But personally, I love rice cake, so I'm fine with that. If you've had Korean food and you know of the spicy rice cake, it's the exact same thing, except I'm not using a spicy sauce. I'm actually using a cream-based sauce. Don't break the toes of service? No, okay, I'll make sure not to break the toes of service. No, this is making me hungry. You guys can't smell it, but this is actually starting to smell really nice. And as the rice cakes are cooking in the mixture, they are softening up a lot more. Because you want your rice cakes to be soft and tender. And unfortunately, the rice cakes that I picked up, they were starting to split a little bit, unfortunately. Again, like I said, this is my first time trying this recipe, so I wasn't too sure how it was going to work out. I probably should have added just some of the rice cake instead of all of it. That's just a lesson for future attempts. Thanks, Don. Yeah, no, this is actually smelling really good. You know what, I'm going to hit it with a little bit more seasoning. Let's do a little bit of pepper to that. Do I know Hamzy? No, I do not. Is that another streamer? Do they do cooking content? Because if they do, then I'll definitely check them out, because I'm always down to learn more cooking. More ingredients, more recipes, and just expanding what I know. Hi, little big bear. How are you? Sorry, it's a little hard for me to see chat because I'm got one eye on this and my phone is kind of off to the side so it can record all this stuff for you guys. Oh. So I'm just going to let that sit for a little bit as the sauce kind of reduces a little bit down below. What do I stream when not cooking? I'm a brand new streamer. I've only been doing it for a week now. I kind of do variety. So play games here. I do prefer cooking just because, I find that more interesting. But for most part, it's just whatever free game that I feel like playing at the time. Not net free, but whatever game that comes to mind, or depending on my day. Sometimes I just want something low key, so I might do an escape simulator, or I might play Borderlands 3, or currently I'm doing Marvelous Guardians of the Galaxy. She look up when she's Korean mukbang lady, but she cooks the food. Okay, Porcelain, yeah, no, I'll definitely look up Hamzia. Thank you very much for the recommendation. So this is kind of where I'm at right now. So it looks like it's cooked down enough. So I'm going to actually take this off the heat. And let me get a dish ready to plate this all. Actually, sorry, one thing I want to add afterwards is hard-boiled eggs. I could have added it to the mixture, but I was afraid that it would get smushed as I went. So let's just start plating some of this up here. Sorry, splattered everywhere. Yes, you could actually add cheese to this if you wanted to. If you don't want to do a rose pasta sauce, you can definitely do like a cheese sauce. So instead of adding the spicy pepper paste, you would just add cheese and kind of stir that in, so it's that way. Now, I'm also going to take it off the heat. Let me just grab my oven mitt, because I don't want it to continue cooking. So I'm taking that off the heat, so I put it off to the side. So here is what I'm looking at so far. And then I'm actually going to add a hard-boiled egg to this. Yes, Volker, it's edible right away. All the ingredients are pre-cooked. Like the rice cake was defrosted overnight. The fish cake cooks in the liquid. The sausages I actually pre-cooked in my sous vide for 2 hours. So that was already done. And then I'm just putting everything together. Do you need to let the dish rest momentarily? Not necessarily. For this one, you could eat it right away, because food is better when it's hot and it's fresh. Yes, I had planned to describe the taste for you. Sorry, I just got a little distracted. So I just added a quick hard-boiled egg to that, just because you want to get that nice burst of flavor. Now, normally I would have done let me just pull this off to the side here. Let me clean this up. I would have done a soft-boiled egg, because then when you crack the egg, you get that runny yolk mixing in with everything, and it heightens the flavor. Now, I overcooked my egg intentionally to a hard-boiled egg, because I tried doing a couple soft-boiled eggs in advance, and they kept breaking on me. So I will definitely give it a try now for you guys. So the rice cake, super soft. Yeah, it's very soft, very tender. It's got that nice flavor of the spicy pepper paste running coated throughout it. A bit of the sausage. Yeah, that sausage has a nice crumbly has a nice crumbly texture to it as well. So you know it's really good. And then of course the fish cake. It's got that nice chewiness to it. A little bit of I don't know if you guys have had fishball soup or like hot pot. It's the same sort of flavor. Do I ever make desserts? Yes, actually, Homer. One thing I actually love doing is desserts, and I will eventually do a bacon stream in the future. Is the egg runner? So I'll cut into the egg right now for you guys. Hopefully, I believe it's a hard-boiled egg that I did. So yeah, you got that hard-boiled egg to it. Now, normally a soft-boiled egg would have been nicer because then I can mix all that into it, but it's still good. Can you see your beef Wellington? Yes, I've actually done a beef Wellington many times. I've also done pork Wellington and chicken Wellington. It is a hard dish at first, but after enough practice, enough times, it is very simple enough to do. It seems daunting, but anyone can do it. Will I stop streaming out and it's done? I'm not too sure. Like, I was just planning on doing a quick live stream for this. I wasn't actually planning on streaming today. I can definitely stay on and talk with you guys if you want. That's not a problem. I can try and answer any more questions. Yeah, sorry, it's not a dry egg, but again, this was all last minute stuff. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying slowly. I'm trying to find what I like to do in this with streaming. Again, like, I've only been doing this for a week so far, so I'm still trying to figure out where I fit in, how I want to approach things. Do I want to focus more on cooking? Do I want to focus more on games, IRL? We'll see. Favorite condiment? I actually don't have a favorite condiment. I like them all, really. Ketchup, mustard, relish, the basics there. Then you got mayo, then you got spicy mayo, horseradish, red pepper paste. I like to use that in soups. I'm pretty good with anything. Hi Robert, how are you doing? Yeah, thank you, Porcelain. I'm glad I streamed today too. It was a last minute decision. You know, I took the day off of work. I figured, why not try and do this dish that I've always wanted to try and do for everyone. How's my day going today? My day's going pretty good, little Big Bear. How's your day going? I've kind of done a little bit of low-key stuff. I woke up, I watched another streamer, took a shower, did some grocery shopping, picked up some more stuff for this, and then I came here and I cooked for you guys. I want to share food with people that I enjoy, and hopefully I can create enough interest in it that you guys might want to try it yourself, or you want to enjoy it too. You know? Trying to make donuts but fail every time. You know what? I actually tried making donuts once before and I failed too. But you just got to take that as a learning opportunity and go from there. You know, you could still keep trying and still fail every single time. But with every failure, you learn something new to do differently next time. Like, I've done so many failures on my cooks, and I've taken what I've learned from those and improved it again and again. Like when I did the Wellingtons, I did how many practice beef pork Wellingtons, because pork is a cheaper cut of meat than using beef tenderloin. And from that, I learned to perfect the technique. I learned how to get my timing down right. So when I actually did do a beef Wellington, it came out great. And it was a perfect thing that I did for Christmas for my family. My parents loved it. My siblings loved it. How do I enjoy my steak? My steak, I always prefer it medium rare. I can do medium if need to, but I always go medium rare. I don't know, I just don't like it cooked past that. It's just too much. And that's why I love sous vide though. Because when I've done a lot of meat sous vide. I've done steak sous vide, chicken, everything. And you get the juiciest steak I've ever had when I cook it that way. Because there's no risk of overcooking it. Have you ever thought about selling feet? No, I'm not going to sell feet pics. I'm glad you guys like my feet, but no, I'm not into that. A very important question. If you undercook things, yes, you will get a lot of food poisoning. That said, you just got to be careful. Practice, follow safe food uh, principles, and you should be fine. So I'm actually going to try a little bit more with the egg now. Oh yeah, the egg definitely adds another layer of texture to it. So you have that softness of the egg mixed with the chewiness of the rice cake and the crumbly texture of the sausage. It's perfect. Oh, I haven't played GoldenEye in a long time. That was an old game for the N64, I believe. Let's turn down that noise, so I should turn it off. How does it taste? I actually really enjoyed for a first time try. I wasn't too sure how it would turn out. I was worried that I might overcook some elements or I might undercook some elements, but it actually turned out pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with it. There are some things I probably will adjust in the future, but for the most part, I'm really happy with it. And it's very simple to do as well. Very simple ingredients you can use if you ever guys want to try and do it yourself. If you want to do the sauce, it's really just onions, garlic, and then you can add other vegetables like mushrooms. I've seen, like I mentioned before, you can do broccoli, and you just get all that stirring together, and then you add the cream sauce, the heavy cream to it, and then you just add. For me, I added red pepper paste. Now, I believe a traditional rose sauce consists of a tomato paste, so you can do that too. And that still will give you that same flavor, but then you have to add additional stuff to that flavor to get it to what you want. So more seasonings like oregano, onion powder, a garlic powder, or whatever other seasoning, paprika if you wanted to add that flavor profile that you particularly like. Me, I use the red pepper paste because I know what it tastes like. I like the flavors that it has, the little bit of kick that it gives you, and obviously you can adjust as you prefer. More paste will give you a stronger, spicier kick. Less paste, obviously, less spicier, and it may not be as vibrant a color. So, and that's the same thing too. The more paste you add to it, the richer, the darker the color will end up being. All in all, I mean, as we are our own worst critics, this dish I probably would give it maybe 7 out of 10. There are areas that I could improve on for sure. I could have prepped sausages better in advance. I could have done proper soft-boiled eggs instead of deciding to do a hard-boiled egg to get that creamy mix on it. There are always things that I can improve on. I'll never give my dishes like a perfect 10 out of 10. Again, like I said, I am very much an amateur home cook. I have no idea what I'm doing. Is that a Microsoft Surface Pro 4? Yes, actually. I'm using my tablet to keep an eye on chat because I'm filming this on my phone, so I can't really keep an eye on my phone as well as when I'm cooking at the same time. So it's easier for me to just quickly pop my head over, look at the chat, boom, call it a day, see what you guys are saying. I actually really like it. It helps a lot in my kitchen, especially when I'm looking up recipes and I need to see, oh, what's my next step? I got my tablet there, I got everything opened up. It's like, do this next, done. When is my next stream? I do not have a stream schedule yet. I will figure something out hopefully within the next week or two. I'm kind of thinking I might switch it up and do every second day for the time being, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but that's not definitive just yet. I will figure something out soon. Donut stream? Yeah, I could attempt to do a donut stream later on. once I figure out my recipes and get that perfected. Because I want to give you guys something that looks good instead of a colossal failure. Because when I did my donuts, that was a huge failure. Like, it was way too soft, it was falling apart, it didn't fry properly. So I want to make sure I get something good that you guys would also enjoy. I just have to make sure I eat first, or else I'll be watching with the grill and stuff again. So hungry, I'm gonna have to get a grip. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Homer. Cooking streams, my whole purpose of doing a cooking stream is to interest you in food. And if I'm being fully honest, a little bit of evil thought behind it. I do want to make you guys hungry, because obviously if I make you hungry whilst I'm showcasing my food and making you want to eat my food, then that's kind of a compliment for me, because that tells me I'm making stuff that you guys are interested in. As opposed to, say I make something that looks horrible and then you're like, oh, I don't want to eat that. It makes me, I'm not hungry, it's off-putting, etc., etc. Then that doesn't feel good. So the fact that this is making you hungry makes me happy. What games do I like to play? Have you ever heard of Sea of Thieves? No, I've not heard of Sea of Thieves. I can look into that for sure. As for what kind of games do I like to play? Honestly, I'm pretty open to any kind of games. Like, I have various cooking simulator games, like Overcooked. I have escape simulator games. I have adventure games. I have role-playing games. So I'm pretty open to a lot of stuff. Should follow the Sea of Thieves streamers? Okay, no, I'll definitely check out Sea of Thieves and see what that's like. Maybe, who knows, if it's something that interests me, I might do it on a future stream. Thank you very much, Homer. That really, I can't express how much I appreciate that. Especially as a new streamer, I'm very much self-aware that I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm kind of guessing at all this. So the fact that, what I'm doing is making you enjoyable, or that you like what I'm doing, really, really boosts my confidence. And definitely, if people like this a lot more, then I will do more of this in the future. I'm actually thinking I might do a monthly cooking stream, and depending on how things go, I might do situations where I'd have audience poll to pick the recipe for that month, and then I'll try and cook that for you guys. But again, that's down the road. I haven't fully decided how I'm going to work it all just yet. You waiting for food? Well, hopefully you get something pretty good there, Porcelain, so that you can eat. I'm not gonna lie to you, one of my favorite things are these fish cakes. If you've ever had them before, you know what I'm talking about. They're just so delicious. Sausages. Waiting sausages sounds shit AF. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out my stream. This was a very quick, last-minute thing I wanted to do, and you know what? You know what, Red Sound? That's your decision. Obviously, everyone has subjective tastes. Everyone has different opinions of what they like to eat. So, again, that's completely your call. By all means, I would love to see what you make, and we can comment on that as well. 10 would be a 10 if I could be there. Thanks very much, Don. I appreciate you stopping by like always. It's always great to talk to people. Um, yeah, thank you very much, Porcelain. I I try and help out whatever I can, whether it's like amateurs like me just trying to put something together, or just helping people in general. Like I'm doing this to try and just talk to new people, kind of expand my worldview, and just try and share stuff. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to enjoy this meal. Definitely make an Instagram with my plate food. You know what? If people are interested enough in that, I might actually do that. I can upload some of the older stuff that I've done, and maybe you guys can comment on that. Kind of see what kind of cooks I've done before, especially some of the stuff that I've baked. I have done a lot of cakes and fancy desserts. 'Cause I like doing something unique and elaborate when I cook or when I bake. Get a close up of the food? Yeah, sure. Let me just grab this up here for you. So like here is, it's again with the lighting, it's a little hard to see, but it does have that rose kind of color and flavor to it. Again, really good, really soft, really tender. We'll show the person. Yeah, I'm hoping to do a next cooking stream that I don't know when I will do it, but I have some great ideas. I have a steak idea that I want to do as well as a chicken idea. So definitely keep an eye out, and I will probably do that within the next month or so. And I'll decide which one I'm going to do then. So you think it'd feed 5? Oh, definitely. This would, with how much I made, it will easily feed a family of 5. Not a problem. Can I do a vegan dish? Yeah, I can definitely try and do a vegan dish. You know what? If you have an idea or a recipe you want me to try, by all means, join my Discord, post it there, and I will take a look into it. And who knows, maybe on a future stream, I will definitely try and do a vegan dish. I'm very much open to trying new culinary experiences. Yeah, there's tons of possibilities for cooking. Have you tried making sugun? I don't know what that is, actually. Could you explain that to me? Can you make sushi? I've never actually tried making sushi, but you know what? I can definitely try and do that on a stream. That is something new that I've never done before. I've tried making rice balls, and because I have the molds for that. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah, like I have these triangle rice molds, so I've done that before in the past. And oh, one thing I might try as well is doing like a dessert style where I have taiyaki maker. So I might do those red bean fish cakes or pastries, I guess they are. That one's actually pretty easy enough to make. A lamb roast dinner. I've actually done rack of lamb before. An English fry up. I have to actually look into what that is, but you know, I could definitely give that a try in the future. I'm more than open to stuff. You have a stream idea? What's your idea? Yeah, it's a really cool mold. Actually, it's originally designed for a gas or flame grill because then you want it to evenly heat each side. That said, I have an electric stove, as you can see, so which I have to clean. But this actually does do work on that as well. It's very much like a waffle maker. So you pour the batter in on one side, you fill it with whatever filling you want. I've done it with Nutella actually, and it's really, really tasty. My family would love that. And then you just put it together and you're good to go. And how about wine tasting? To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of wine, but I could potentially see that in a future stream. Maybe I might get some friends who are into wine and we could do like a round table discussion about wine. Haggis? Ooh, haggis might be a little bit out of my comfort zone. Will I say no to ever trying to cook it? I do not know. But it is something I could potentially look at. Again, I am also limited to what I can find locally for ingredients, as well as whatever research I can do, but I can look into it. To be honest, I'm more of a rum guy, to be honest. but I can definitely try some of the other drinks. If you are actually looking for a great wine or drink tasting stream, I do have a friend, Bindi Smalls. She and Mighty Socks, they do a wine stream or a cocktail stream weekly, and they are very, very knowledgeable about this stuff. Like, they know so much, and they make their own drinks. Yeah, I did it with Nutella, and I'm not gonna lie, that was so amazing. Hello, Nate. How are you? You ever try cooking your joints of meat in a slow cooker? You know what? A lot of people say that I should use the slow cooker in Instapot, and I have one. I've just never actually used it. Really the only main cooking device I use a lot is my sous vide, just because I like the fact that I can have meats cooking whilst I'm working, and that way I don't have to sit there and focus on it all the time. I can leave it for a couple hours, come back, and boom, it's ready to go. Do you deep fry turkey? I've never done a deep fried turkey yet. I'm not too bad. I don't really recommend cooking red meats in a slow cooker. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, my mom has done a lot of slow cooking with meats and stuff, and it's come out super good. I definitely see the appeal of doing a slow cooker. I've just never actually gone about doing it myself just yet. But that said, I am very much open to trying it one day. I just have never seen the need to do it. But like I said, if it's a popular enough request, maybe I'll do that on the stream one day. I'll do a slow cooked meal. Actually, let me see if I can do. So the person I was telling you about, let me see if I can get this going. I believe that is the link. Yeah, this is my friend Bindi. She does drink streams and everything. If you ever get a chance, check out her stuff. And she's also a cosplayer as well. If you're into the cosplay scene or you attend anime conventions, you might know of her. 24-hour stream when? We can get breakfast, lunch, and dinner recipes? You know what? I am way too green to do a 24-hour stream. Maybe after a year, if I'm still going strong, for sure I could maybe see that then. But a breakfast, lunch, and dinner stream, that'll take a little bit of planning to do, but it is doable. What about second breakfast? I can do second breakfast, I can do thirdsies, I can do second dinner, whatever. As long as I know what to do in advance, I have no problem with that. But yeah, if you guys want to see the other dish that I made that actually has a bit of a nicer presentation than this one, unfortunately, I didn't know how this was going to play out. Check my previous stream from, I believe, last week, where I did a commentary of my shrimp rose pasta. I think you guys would like that one. It's, again, a lot of the same techniques that was used here. You cook the onions first, as well, then you add the garlic, you add your seasoning, you add your protein. No, it's fine, Dave. I don't have a mod, so I'm still trying to figure out all these commands and everything to deal with that. But I'm glad that you're back. Oh, you love fish cake? Yeah, fish cake is so good. Yeah, I gotta talk to Nightbot, see what's going on with it. But yeah, no, fish cake is amazing, especially if you ever get the chance to go to Korea and do the street food fish cake with that soup base that it's in. Oh, that is amazing, and it's so cheap there too. Like I think when I went, it was $1 per skewer, and $5 is a lot of fish cake to eat there. It's so good, so worth it. A lot of my food influences, or the recipes that I kind of want to do, are I don't think I have a particular style that I focus on. I kind of like to experiment with any type of style. So whether it's Asian fusion, whether it might be Italian, whether it's Western, for instance. Like the ribs that I've done with my sous vide machine, honestly, some of the best ribs I've ever had. They just fall off the bone. Granted, it's a 16-hour cook, but it's very little hassle to deal with because I just put it in, let it cook for 16 hours, then take it out and sear it, and then you're good to go. Like it's one day I'll do an entire meal prepped via sous vide if that's something that you guys might be interested in. Like I've done that before. It takes some time because you have to set different water temperatures, but it is doable and it is something that's very easy to do, actually. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for stopping by and chatting with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys like my stuff, and join my Discord to see when I do other cooks or when I play games if you want to chat then as well too. And if you have any recommendations for other recipes that you want to see in the future, by all means, give me a shout, let me know, post it in the channels there. I'll look into it and it could appear on a next stream. By all means, if you guys have any ideas, I'm always game for that. Eggs on beans on cheese on toast? Yeah, you know, that seems pretty simple enough to do. I could definitely do that for like if I do a 24-hour breakfast stream, I could do that easily. 100%, yeah, comfort food. That's what I kind of want to go for. Like, I don't want to do stuff that, you know, seems so intimidating that you don't want to try it. I want to do stuff that's comforting, that makes you feel good, and stuff that inspires you to try and do your own cooking. How do you make tea? Boil water and put a tea bag in. That's how I do it. I'm simple that way. But yeah, like I said, I am probably going to call it a night. I got a lot of dishes to clean up, and that's unfortunately the downside of always doing a cooking stream. But I had fun chatting with you guys, and I hope you really like what I did. And one last time, so that's kind of the final dish. Looks messy, but it tastes amazing. And obviously my plating, I could have done a little bit better, but you know what? This is comfort food. This is something you want on a cold day. You just sit back, really relax, you know, enjoy your food with your family around the table. This is what you want. Yeah, I will. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you guys, everyone. Yeah, the off-camera work. That you don't want to see the chaos and the mess that I have to clean up. It's not fun. Anyways, guys, have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you in a future stream. Thank you. Bye.